All right, guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So we got a very powerful, awesome sauce. Super easy character, BROLY. I'm very impressed with BROLY. I think BROLY is just a phenomenal character, just point blank and period. I don't think we really need to spend too much time talking about most of the characters on this list. A lot of them are on, teams that are kind of like a little bit lesser or something like that. So we can kind of just like move through, maybe hit some quick bullet points for a lot of these characters. But I mostly want to keep the discussion to maybe like more meta relevant characters, like maybe Super Easy Kid Buu or Super Easy BROLY or Trunks and Goten and stuff like that. So we'll start at number 10, Exchange Majin Buu. Maybe Exchange Majin Buu can have a nice little niche carved out for them, but one huge issue for this character is this. You need another Majin power category ally attacking in the same turn. I don't think that synergy is going to work super well. I mean, they are on Int Broly's team, all the Buu characters, but a lot of the, like, this Buu does not have big bad bosses. It would not work well, potentially, with, like, Cell Max, who is, either the best character on Uncontrollable Power or the second best. I feel like I could kind of listen to both sides of that argument. Cell Max, best character on the team, or Tech Carnival BROLY. I think either or is they're both elite, right? But I mean, maybe I am shying away from a lot of these characters because they can mess with Cell Max's restriction, and again, he's damn near the best character on the team. So the Boos, it just struggle a little bit. Kid Buu doesn't really have this, and Kid Buu is also big bad bosses, which could help, right? And he's a support, so I have Exchange Buu down to 10. Number 9, we have Int Gohan here. I think he's a very capable, impressive character. If you've not used him with Goku, Gohan, and Trunks, I would recommend trying it. He's actually really impressive. He's a nice support. He's got damage reduction. Keep in mind, Goku, Gohan, and Trunks. So he's got his guard, and he has the condition for his transformation, although I probably prefer him in base anyway. But this guy is really pretty powerful. On that team. He supports a lot of characters that are on that Goku, Gohan, and Trunks team. This guy is just nice. He's nice. We don't have to spend too much time talking about him, but he got a nice revitalization from Goku, Gohan, and Trunks. Next is Int Gotenks. And I want to grab the next character as well, which is Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. And I think I might as well just go ahead and grab the character after that, who is Physical Kid Buu. This is what a lot of people were complaining about with my last list, and I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, I could put Kid Buu above them. I don't like, because here's the thing, when I've been running Kid Buu with some of these characters on Uncontrollable Power and stuff like that, I've not really gotten, like, killed because of it. And I haven't really seen Kid Buu take a tremendous amount of damage either. I mean, if you get him built up, he's got a really nice amount of damage reduction. He's got big bad bosses. He could have capable defenses. The biggest issue for him is that he has to get hit to build up. That's obviously the biggest problem for him. But, I mean, he is a relevant option on Uncontrollable Power. I was not very impressed with Int Gotenks when I ran him on Goku, Gohan, and Trunks' team. What really hurts Gotenks a lot is the difficulty and the shenanigans in transforming with him compared to a character like Kefla, who is just next turn, wham, bam, you're into Super Saiyan 2 Kefla. Gotenks, it's just a lot more difficult, a lot more rough to try and get that out. I really like Tech Gotenks, because obviously his dodge is 88% dodge after he gets his 12 key, which is, super duper good. He could potentially have the damage reduction, the dodge, and the crit if you get 11 key. He's pretty good, but, I mean, maybe, using him right now, I mean, he's on a lot of categories and stuff like that, but, I mean, the team we'd run him on is, I guess, Buu Saga, which certainly is drastically buffed with the Carnival Family Kamehameha, Gohan on it, but I'm okay putting Kid Buu up there now. I mean, things change, right? It's not, I think it's important not to get trapped in the past of how things were 3 months ago, how things were 4 months ago, right? Things shift, right? New characters come out, characters' roles can change, stuff like that. Videl. Videl is the one character that's not on global on this list. Videl, obviously, easy aid with DOKKANFEST Master Roshi. Videl's very good. She's also a nice option for that Buu Saga team. Also a good option for the Roshi team. But I consider both of those teams lesser teams, not one of the top tier teams. The Roshi team dies repeatedly because the entire team is dodge or die, so you will get caught and the team dies repeatedly. And then Buu Saga, I mean, the Family Kamehameha character is, you know, fantastic addition to it. I still would consider Buu Saga like a level below Uncontrollable Power or Superhero or, I guess, Super Saiyan. I mean, the Goku Gohan and Trunks team is... it's not just something I could just say, like, oh, Buu Saga, Uncontrollable Power. It's kind of a big combination of a bunch of categories, but yeah, Videl, I mean, she's just impressive. But she's dodge or die, right? Like, you'll see Videl die a lot, but Videl can also really impact things great against Goku and Frieza, dodge their attacks, do a lot of damage, right? Videl can be impressive, or she could suck ass. It's how some of these true dodge or die characters are these days. Sometimes can be not really so much fun. Speaking of another dodge or die character, we have Kefla. I felt like Kefla got a nice bump with the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks team. I believe Kefla is not on their 200% leader skill, right? But I still think that that's Kefla's best setup. To me, she feels the most impactful there. She's on the Roshi team as well, and the Roshi team can juice up high stats, but that's at the trade-off of losing a lot, getting a lot of game overs. I think Kefla is very impressive. Very good character. It can be easy to get orbs, too, depending upon the team we're running. On the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks team, sure, there are a ton of characters that want a lot of orbs, but I don't think it's really too tough to be able to get Videl her orbs, Kefla her orbs, while, Bulma, Rainbow Orb changing, Goku, Gohan, and Trunks are type orb changing. A lot of times it didn't feel like the orbs were that big of a deal, right? So I'm fine with Kefla there. Now, again, keep in mind, like, once you get towards the end parts of her, it is dodge or die against the big boss super attacks. Her defense can certainly be reasonable, especially with the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks buff after she supers, but, against the real nasty shit, it is, of course, dodge, right? All right, so there's Kefla. Next, we could put Tech Ultimate Gohan just right in front of Kefla. I don't know that I really have too much to say about Tech Gohan. He's Tech Gohan, right? Like, we all know what he does. We know his strengths. We know his weaknesses. He, on any given turn, can decide, watch me super once and then do a bunch of normals, right? And then he could, quad super, and then he could quad super the next turn, and then he's God, right? Like, bunch of different things could happen. One thing that is unfortunate is right now the two scariest bosses in the game, the ones that do just so much damage, it's comical, do not exist on Global at the moment. I think it's a huge Amatsu L, a big steamy L right on Amatsu's resume, that we're going to have this sync but keep the very best content, the hardest fights, off of Global. Makes no sense. It's idiotic, it's moronic, it's dumb. But characters like Tech Gohan, LR Beast Gohan, like these like Giga tanks that I see people talk about, they can be touched quite easily, in fact, by these big bosses. I mean, when Bulma's shooting at her 3 million normals or whatever the hell it is, I mean, you're going to have reason to fear. But, I mean, Gohan can definitely get up to a point where he's able to tank those. But yeah, this is a good spot for Gohan. Now, I put Broly at 2, and we have Trunks and Goten at 1. Trunks and Goten, to me, I don't know that I could properly explain it, and it's kind of like literally my job to be able to explain this, so I should. Trunks and Goten, they do feel a little sturdier to me. They are very much a heavy RNG character. 70% right here. 70% right there, 70% right there. And, obviously we have 30% chance to dodge, and then as they get targeted, they build up their dodge as well. The problem for this character, right, is that they're not going slot 1 until you're fully... Like, once you're fully built up, they have 80% dodge. I'll take my chances. I could put them in slot 1 at that point. That's fine. But beforehand, they're not going in slot 1. So they're just our 10,000, like, slot 2 character, right? The 500th one. Broly is as well, but Big Daddy here is also potentially dropping 80% support. So I'm not really, too upset about, like, a super easy 80% support character having to go in slot 2. Not a big deal. The same with Trunks and Goten, but I'm just establishing the point that you can get cucked by RNG out of your control, right? If the boss puts all their attacks in slot 1, and, I mean, you can't put them in slot 1 without huge risk. you know, if you load into a fight and there's, you know, a bunch of attacks in slot 2 right away, you could put them there. Remember, either getting hit or dodging will build them up. But that's kind of what the issue is. Once they're fully built up, they are beyond elite. They feel so good. If you've got another Trunks or Goten, obviously this can get around that issue I was talking about, because they, of course, can be slot 1 when they have 100% dodge, which they're able to do with this right here. And remember, they also have 2-turn support as well, along with 80% dodge and just craziness. We saw some footage of BROLY. We saw some moments. He can be a little squishy at times, right? It's not, I don't think, it's not an issue for how good he is and how much support he's given off. Able to do a lot of supers consistently, oftentimes guaranteed crits. He's great. He's a Rainbow Orb Changer. He's awesome. There are moments where he could take a lot of damage, though. And then, obviously, against the biggest bosses, he's cooked. He's not tanking the biggest bosses. We saw Bulma's normals, and it wasn't even her god normals damaging BROLY. Now, those normals are like 1.7 million normals or some shit like that. But, I mean, he was still taking, you know, like 50k per normal. That could add up quick against a big boss that's hitting. And remember, these bosses, they're not going to get weaker as time goes on. They get stronger. So, it's like, he's very good. But I just feel like Trunks and Goten, even though they're a heavy RNG character, I do feel, I think, just a little bit more comfortable in them defensively. Trunks and Goten, I think, I don't know. Well, will BROLY do more damage? I mean, BROLY probably will output more damage overall, right? Between his support, and then, of course, if he gets the Rainbow Orbs, and he's, you know, triple and quad supering, and he could, again, do guaranteed crits and stuff like that. But Trunks and Goten are really crazy. If you happen to have a full Kamehameha rotation, too, they get really silly. 80% crit, 30% damage reduction, 80% dodge. Like, just, like, think about how crazy is that? This is a character that came out, what, like March 5th of 2021 or something like that. March 5th? That's my guess. March 4th of 2021. And they could have 80% crit, 80% dodge, and 30% damage reduction. Like, that's what EZA characters look like now. It's ridiculous. So, there we go. I feel like that is a good list. So we kind of have it, I think, something like this. Feels pretty good to me. And I released one only a couple of days ago. 5 days ago. Yeah, not very long ago. I listened to some complaints. I'm comfortable. I could move Kid Buu up over the 2 Gotenkses. That's what I didn't mind doing right there. So obviously, Int BROLY, I mean, he's the only real L character of the celebration, so not a big deal. Maybe some people will get super pressed about it. Oh my god, but I mean, I don't, like, dude, this guy is crazy enough. Int BROLY, he'll have his time to shine when he gets his Super EZA in 10 years. Okay, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But right now, this is the guy we're looking at with his big support and his supers and stuff like that. I really like him quite a bit. So, let me know what you guys think of the top 10 EZA TURs. Looking through it again. Yeah, I feel good about this. Looks good. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys next time.